Hello students, welcome back to the online class of science. This is your Naima Miss back with reproduction in plants. In our previous class, we have learned that the flowers are the beautiful part of the plant, right? And they produce even the new plants. How? That also we learned under reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is nothing but the production of new plants or new new children's from the parent. Okay, so what we can say, production of new plants from the parent plants is called as the reproduction in plants, same like we have in our animals and human being, right? This is the production of new plants from the parent plant is called as the reproduction in the plants. Fine. And then what we have learned, we said that there are different types of flowers, and in that we have learned the parts of the flowers. We have learned about stalk, thalamus. We have learned about the sepals, that is calyx, and we have learned about the corolla, that are which comes under petal, right? Again we have stigma, right? Female, that is gynecium, which consists of ovary and style and stigma, right? And gynecium, that is the female part of the flower. Androecium is nothing but the male part of the flower, and it has what? It has long stamen, and then upon the stamen it has anther, right? It has long stamen, and upon the stamen it has anther. Both these together is called as pistil, and this pistil is called as androecium. It is the male part of the flower. Then what we have learned, we said that all plants flowers are either complete or incomplete. What are those? Flowers are either complete flowers or incomplete flowers. Okay, complete means they have all these female and male parts. Else incomplete means some or the other part is missing in this flower. Okay, next what did we say? We said that the flowers are either unisexual or the flowers are bisexual. Yes, unisexual means the flower is having only one parent part, that is one gamete, or you can say either it is having a male part, it is having either male or it is having female. Okay, when it comes to bisexual, it has both male and female. Clear? It is clear, children, right? It is clear. We also saw that the different parts of the plant will give rise to the new plant, right? So now we can say that this reproduction is of how many types? It is of two types. How many types it is? It is two types, that is sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Okay, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. Now what is sexual reproduction? You can say that in this both male and female parents are involved in the production of new plant. Okay, both male and female parents are involved in the production of new plants. Whereas asexual means no male or female parent is involved in the reproduction. Okay, no male or female parent is involved in the reproduction. That is, without the involvement of male or female parent, a new plant is germinated. How that is happening, that we will learn now. Okay, so first we will learn about the sexual reproduction. Okay, so when we are saying sexual reproduction, here both the male and female parent, male flower and female flower, both are involved in the production of new plant. Okay, both new, that is male and female flower, is involved in the production of new plant. Okay, so how this process is going on, we will learn that. Already we have learned the seeds, the pollen sac. The pollen sac is containing what? The pollen sac has pollen grains in it, right? Small grains are there which will germinate new plants. Right? So now what is happening? Pollen sac means that is having what? Pollen grains. Pollen grains means these are male part of the flower, right? It's the male part of the flower. So what we are doing now, we will see that how this reproduction of plant is taking place with the help of sexual reproduction. So for example, what we are going to do, we are going to take the two plant which is having male flowers on and female flowers. They are unisexual flowers. Unisexual means what I said, they will have, means a flower will have only male part and another flower it will have only female part. Okay, so what we are doing, we are taking the unisexual flower. For example, we will take bottle gourd. Okay, bottle gourd plant which is in a garden, it is unisexual flower. Okay, it has unisexual flowers. So bottle gourd is having what? Unisexual flowers. Unisexual means only one parent is available, right? Only one parent is available. So what is happening now, when we are taking these flowers, what we will do, we will just we will select some few female flowers. Okay, and what we will do, we will just cover that flower with a polythene bag. Okay, suppose this is the female flower. Okay, female flower of the bottle gourd. Okay, so what we are doing, we are just covering this with a polythene bag. We will cover the female flower with the polythene bag, loosely tying the bag on the stalk. Okay, so this is the polythene bag and we are tying it to the female flower. Okay, this is the female flower. Now make some tiny holes in the bag with the help of pin. We will just make some small holes here. Okay, very small holes. Then what we will do, we will take 2 days, we will keep like that only. After 2 days, what we will observe, the buds are blooming or not. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just collect the pollen grains from the male flower of the bottle gourd. Okay, we'll just pluck the stamens of the male flower and shake to collect the grains which are present. Okay, suppose these are the male flowers. Okay, suppose these are the male flowers, and here we have pollen grains, right? So what we'll do, we will shake it so that all the pollen grains will start falling and we will collect the grains. Okay, now what we will do, we will just take out this cover and we will place the pollen grains here. Okay, and then we will leave it for some time. Then we will observe that when the pollen grains were not allowed to go inside this, the flowers were not blooming. Okay, when we took these pollen grains and passed it into this flower, then you can say that there is some change in that. You can see that there is some the flower starts blooming. So that means what we are doing, we are taking this pollen grain and we are removing this cover. We are just placing the stigma. We have stigma, right? Like this stigma is there on the plant now, right? So what we are doing, we are with the help of the brush, we are taking these seeds and we are placing over on the stigma. Okay, slowly this seed will pass into the flower. Suppose this is the flower. It will slowly pass into this stigma and it will reach the ovary. When you later observe, what will happen, you will later observe that this seeds will, after sometimes, if after 2 to 3 days or 1 week, you will observe, means you will see that these seeds, these stigma, these pollen grains have passed into this ovary, right? This is the ovary of the flower, right? So it has passed into the ovary and it has it starts developing into fruit. Okay, it starts developing into fruit. So now this process of transfer of pollen grains to the female part is called as the pollination. What it is called? It is called as pollination. So the transfer of seeds or the pollen grains to the stigma is called as the pollination. So what it is called? The transfer of seeds to stigma is called as the pollination. Now, this transfer of pollen grains can take place either within, suppose the flower is bisexual. Okay, suppose the flower is bisexual, like how we have seen in the Dhatura. Yes, we have seen in the Dhatura, we have seen that this flower is bisexual, right? So this is having both, this is the female part. Okay, and this is having both male and female, right? So it is having both male and female. So simply the pollen grains will jump from here and it will get transferred into this stigma and will reach the ovary. Okay, this type of pollination is called as self-pollination. Okay, self-pollination, that means transfer of pollen grains in the same flower. Okay, is called as self-pollination. Suppose the pollen grain is transferred from one of the flower to the stigma of another flower. Okay, suppose this is the male flower. Okay, suppose we are taking this as a bottle gourd. Okay, this is the male flower. So male flower is having only what? It is having only the pollen grains on it. Okay, and now this is your female flower. This is having what? This is having only the female part, right? So now what is happening? The pollen grains from here, they are getting transferred to the stigma of the another flower here. They are getting transferred from one flower to another flower. Now this is called as cross pollination. What it is called? It is called as cross pollination. Okay, transfer of seeds from one flower to another, one flower to the stigma of another flower. You do remember this? Stigma of another plant, another flower. Okay, transfer of pollen grains to the stigma of another flower is called as the cross pollination. Do note down this sentence. Okay, children. So this is called as cross pollination. So this cross pollination may how will it take place? It is definitely not going to occur upon itself, right? See, some you observed cancameral flowers, how that when you water the plants, you will see some sounds will be coming out, chut put sounds will be coming up. If you have sunflower at your home, you can observe it. Whenever you just start watering the plant, the seeds or the you can say the yes, seeds also you can say, they will jump from the flower and they will start falling. That is nothing but there some pollination will be taking place. So what are the agents of agents of pollination? What are the agents of pollination? Birds, insects, butterflies, air, wind, water. These all things are the agents of pollination. That means what happens when the bird or the insect or the butterfly, it goes and sit on the flower. Okay, suppose this is the flower and it is going and sitting on the here central part. Okay, it is going and sitting on the central part for some juice. Okay, to take its nectar, it goes and sits on the flower. And what happens when the insect is sitting here? When the legs of the insect will be here, right, on the flower. So what happens, these pollen grains get stick to the legs of the flower. Now when this insect or the butterfly will start flying into the air, and this butterfly, when it reaches a female flower, what this pollen grains will be, they are very smart. When they see the stigma, they will just go and stick on this stigma. Okay, then this will slowly move into the ovary of the flower. Okay, then there the pollination will take place. So because in today's world, what is happening, the birds are vanishing, the insects are vanishing. So what is happening, all the process of flowering is also vanishing. That's why we are getting nowadays all duplicate flowers, right? So to avoid all this, we must have all these natural things, right? These are all natural things. When we water, then also what will happen with water, the pollen grains will move with air. When the wind is high, they will flow away with the wind. Okay, like that these pollination will take place. So the agents are what? Birds, insects, air and water. So with this, I end up the video. In our next class, we will learn how the pollination is taking place. Means what is happening when the pollen grains, after sitting, they have sat here, right? Now after sitting, what is happening? We will learn that in our next class. Okay, and even we will see the next reproduction, that is asexual reproduction, in our next class. Okay children, kindly do obey your parents. Try to listen all the videos and try to understand the topic. Thank you.